Good Friday afternoon. Can you take
Hey.
over for a second? I'm typing something. Okay, now it worked. You know all these patches that have been coming out for the past couple of days?
Patches. Oh, are you patching, huh?
I'm
You're
patching
in
live, yeah.
mode.
I am
Okay.
patching live. So if I disappear, that might be what happens. We'll see. It has been quite a week, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And just think, you're getting ready to get on a plane for what will feel like 24 hours.
I'm
And then
getting on a plane. I'm getting on a trip that I will probably spend as much time in a plane as in the destination.
And it makes you question, why am I doing this?
Exactly. I don't know yet.
At least you're going to a nice...
Sounds cool, kind of Hawaii. It's one of those places that I would probably never go myself. Not because it's not a good place to go. It almost certainly is. But it's just kind of... I bet that if somebody would calculate distances from where I am, probably Hawaii is the most complicated, most remote place I could get to.
But now you can check it off the list.
Check it off the list, yeah?
Have you been to Alaska yet?
No, I never will. It's not happening. It's never going to happen because I complain about weather being too cold for me right now where I am right now. Just to give you an idea, right? And where I am right now is probably what people in Alaska consider the extreme heat.
I would have to agree with that. What is it right now where you are? Probably 10 to 15? Somewhere in that ballpark?
15 to maybe 15, let's say. Probably.
15. Okay.
Celsius.
Yeah.
No idea what's that in imperial.
I can't do the math that fast, but in the 70s probably. So, yeah. Hi, by the way, my name is Darren. This over here is Victor, and we're the host of a podcast called DevOps Paradox that comes out on Wednesdays at 6 a.m. Eastern. And on Fridays, when we're around, we won't be here next Friday. We'll talk more about that later. We come on and do a live stream to talk about the news of the week. And the news of the week this week is Docker is vulnerable, Kubernetes is vulnerable, Glibc is vulnerable, back to 99, 96. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Have you patched your machines yet? If we did, well, maybe that will be the title. Have you patched your machine yet?
Patched. No, I didn't.
Just going to leave it vulnerable.
Who's going to steal with me? People trust me. They're not going to steal.
So I went around. I'm still running Monterey on the Mac Studio that I'm on right now and in a couple other machines. So I patched all those up. Sonoma doesn't appear to have an update yet, which is scary. All of my Linuxes that I have laying around the house were Docker patched, Glibc patched. It's been like, I think I'm caught up right now until the next one happens in probably an hour and a half. We'll see. 2 hours. Hopefully 2 hours, because that will get me through this. Now, everybody, I'll get to the comments in a minute. If my microphone goes wonky, I have no idea what's going on because the camera has been on straight since Monday. I haven't turned it off. The microphone runs into a power supply that then goes into the camera. That's been on since Monday.
Okay.
I did a live stream on Tuesday, no problems. If for some reason at the end of the show the microphone goes off, it's you, Victor. It's you.
Okay.
At least it happens
That's
at the end
how
of the
you wanna
show.
play it down.
Right? Well, I have to, because that's the only pattern I've been able to pull out yet. So we'll see. Because normally I keep the camera and the microphone off. If I'm not using it, I power it all off. But today, not so much. Look at there. Dan, yes, we saw that. We're going to be talking about that in a few moments. Nikos, Karen, good to see you. Ingen, thank you. It is DevOps Paradox time. Can you believe it's almost time for KubeCon EU? Martin. And we got, right now, 12 people live with us as I'm saying this, so the number may bump up again. Stefan, Portugal. Where is Portugal? Help me understand that. It's near Spain, right?
Between you and me.
Oh, okay. And you're almost on the thing, so it's a sandwich, right? Okay.
So if you look at the Iberian Peninsula, where is Spain, there is a northeastern kind of part of the
Right.
next to the sea is Portugal.
Right. Okay. And then the answer is no, not from Hawaii. Going to FOSDEM. That's right. FOSDEM's going on this weekend
Ask me why I'm not in FOSDEM.
because it's too cold. I don't have to ask. It's too cold.
Exactly. I've been there many times. Too cold.
Well, I do know there was a Jenkins Contributor Summit today, which is good because that crew hasn't gotten together since before the pandemic that I'm aware of. I think there might have been one. So, that kind of stuff's coming back to normal. But I would love to go to FOSDEM sometime. Just because, number one, I've never been to Belgium. Number two, that conference seems like is probably the European version-ish of DevNexus, which is down in Atlanta. So that's what it feels like, except it seems a little more out there in a good way.
Yeah, it's complete chaos. Complete chaos. In a very positive way. Kind of like
Right.
you've never... Chaos on all levels, kind of like chaotically organized or not organized, people running around, nobody knows what's going on, everybody's freezing, and all that is happening in a campus, university campus, and nobody knows even where the things are. And that makes it really cool, to be honest. Except it's cold.
That'll be one of the clips for today, just so I remember, because cool but cold. And Michael, good to see you too as well from the UK, which again, spring is coming very soon. In the US, we have this thing called Puxatawny Phil. Have you heard about Groundhog Day? Today is Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Groundhog did not see his shadows. That means spring is coming early. Winter hasn't even gotten here yet, so I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, you're going to Ghent? Where's Ghent?
Ghent is Belgium, I think.
Belgium. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yes, it is Bill
I
Murray
might
Day.
be wrong, so don't...
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's get into this because guess what? Because everybody's been saying they like me, basically messing up
I
live.
wouldn't stretch it that much.
Oh, that I'm messing up, or that
Everybody
they like
likes
it?
you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. We're going to do some live AI stuff at the end. So we'll get through this fast because there's really not much to talk about. Here's the other thing that I'm starting to see. Everybody that's getting ready for KubeCon is shutting up. Everything's going dark. There's not a lot in that in the CNCF space. It's getting very, very quiet.
No, that's true. I mean, including me, kind of like I'm shutting off now after Hawaii, and between Hawaii and
KubeCon?
Paris, KubeCon, I will disappear.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look at what I do have for this week. This week, it's sort of a, again, cheesy title, How to Use ChatGPT for DevOps. If you listen to it all the way through, we never gave you a good concrete answer. We gave you some concepts, but we didn't give you concrete answers because that really wouldn't have translated well just in audio. And that's first what we are as a podcast. So I thought it was interesting. I think we may peel the covers back one Friday on your CLI, even though you call it silly and everything else, because you're still dialing it in a little bit more, right?
Yeah, no, I work on it all the time. I mean, not all the time, like every day, but I spend an hour or two every week on it.
Right.
Improving it.
And it will never be done, right?
When you're working on something that is supposed to make you be more efficient, which is the goal behind that one, but then the time I'm spending with it is actually bigger or longer than the time I'm saving using it. But it's fun on the other hand. So
that's yes. Maz, good to see you. Ahmed, good to see you. Tunisia, wow.
Oh, nice.
I wish we had a map so I could see where people are listening from.
Without a doubt, the coolest conference, not necessarily in terms of content, but to be in as a speaker, that's Tunisia.
Well, that's interesting. Cool. This is normal, Dan. Blocking any AI, which is why when I show you what we're going to be doing today, you can just run it locally on your machine. Now, again, you'd be breaking the rules.
Only AI or simply blocking any AI?
That's the key part. Is it blocking outbound or blocking any AI? Which
No, I meant sometimes companies have worked with block I only.
Oh,
Block any intelligence.
moving on. Podcast Wednesdays at 6 a.m. Eastern. What do we have coming up this week? We have a guy actually that lives in the town where I live. It was different, so you'll probably enjoy it. But then the week after that will be episode 250, which Patrick will be back on for that. So that'll be in 2 weeks. Okay. Akamai announced VPCs. This is actually Linode, because Akamai bought Linode. So this is now Linode has VPCs. So now if you don't need AWS, if you need a VPC, but you don't want to do AWS, GCP, Azure, now you have another option that's not crazy expensive.
Yeah. No, it's not crazy expensive. It's order of magnitude cheaper than big three.
Right. So that came out this week in GA. They've had it out in beta for a little bit, but they're starting to get their little building blocks in place now. And think about it, Akamai. Yes, it's Linode, but it's Akamai. Not like Akamai doesn't have presence all around the world. So anyway, I thought it was cool. If you're into EKS, there was a long blog post this week from AWS about how they test EKS for scalability. Like, this is how they do their internals. All their SLIs, SLOs, all that stuff. It goes through in, how can I say politely, excruciating detail of everything that they're doing.
Those are cool. Those are the articles, videos, talks I really like when it's, hey, this is what we are actually doing.
Yep. This is one, Victor, you probably should take it offline with you. At least it'll fill up 15 minutes on the flight.
Yeah.
Did you order a Vision Pro?
They don't sell it outside the US.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Otherwise,
Sorry.
I would order it, and then I would be very happy. I suspect I would be very happy for a couple of days, and then I would question my sanity for buying it in the first place.
Well, I'm figuring if you were going to Hawaii, that would have given you movies for the whole trip.
Yes, as long as the electricity plug in the plane works.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So, all right. This goes back to Dan's questions earlier. So there was a Glibc post, a Glibc Flaw. I was trying to remember if it was here. I think it was either this one or another article that I read. Oh, yeah. The vulnerability in QSort has affected all Glibc versions since 1992. I can do date math okay. That's more than 30 years. And when I see...
Go
ahead.
The question is not since when the vulnerability exists, but since when somebody figured out that there is vulnerability. But because
Right.
you can have vulnerability in anything you want, but as long as nobody knows that it is there and how to exploit it, doesn't matter.
Do I dare say that every line of code we write has a vulnerability in it at some point in the future?
And mine multiplied with 3.
Right. It's interesting because the other thing that I see on the backside of these kinds of conversations are people that are using the software. It's like, hey, look, great, thanks for the remediation. How do I make sure that this never happens again ever for me? You don't. Well, actually, you can. You just power it off and turn it off and put it in the trash can. Right?
That it never happens again, that, yeah.
And shred the drives and shred the CPUs.
No, don't use computers.
That's what I'm saying. Just move away from computers. So anyway, there were a couple of flaws. One was recent in August of 22. But this one's big. This is the one that initially started. I think this is bottom line what happened for the Monterey patches for macOS, because there was nothing else. But the thing that I did see is like, hey, you need to patch this right now. Don't wait. I was like, okay, I'll do that. But then getting into Dan's stuff, Leaky Vessels. So Docker and runc, and this is why I saw today on all my other things that were running Docker. Everything got patched today. It took me a while to understand Leaky Vessels, but then I started thinking, it's like, oh, Kubernetes. It's all containers. It's ships. It's leaky vessels. Because the logo made no sense to me at all. It looked like a tree on a mountain or something with some buildings. I didn't realize it was supposed to be a ship that was leaking.
You didn't relate to that with the word leaky next to it?
No, it just didn't. It just didn't make any sense. Okay, so they're updating all the stuff. This one's from, so Sneak is the one that found it. So problems with runc, build kit. But really, it's runc is the scary one. And in fact, which is everything. If I go to another one, Sysdig also had it. The 652 was a 10. So 652 is, I would have to guess that's the runc. No, it's not. Oh, the build time container teardown, arbitrary delete. That's a 10. And 653 is a 9.8. So these two are like uh-ohs, and the other two are high 8s, mid 8s. If you haven't patched yet, guess what you're doing this weekend?
Exactly.
Unless your security people are already off this week for whatever holiday that they may be taking, and you're probably good till Monday.
You know, the good thing about those vulnerabilities is that, and it goes back to some of the conversations we had recently, that fear will force people to finally upgrade.
Well, they won't upgrade, they'll patch to whatever the minimum version is that they have to make a change for.
You mean, yeah. I mean, if they are on a version that is patched.
For some people, that's all they want to get to. So
Yeah.
anyway, so I'll make sure that all the links get in. But if you're not aware that if you're running Docker desktop locally, patch. If you're running Docker just straight on Linux, patch. If anybody's offering you a patch right now, take it. Well, unless you want to have a bad weekend, or a bad few weeks.
Yeah, and while we're talking, the exclamation sign just popped up on my Docker desktop.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, the one telling me that I should update.
Yours should update. Okay, well, good. Don't do it. Well, I guess you could do it right now. Wait, what are you on right now? Your M1 or your old one?
I have a cluster doing stuff right now there, so I cannot.
Can't do it. What are you running for your cluster? Let me ask that question. Oh, you're running cluster inside of Docker Desktop.
Yeah. So I was long time in our world, runc desktop user, but I switched back to kind for a single reason, that runc folks ignored my cries to give me the ability to restart Rancher from CLI. I stopped using some things only because I had to click a mouse and then 2 more clicks to restart it.
See, he's being Victor. Jivan, good to see you. Hadn't seen you in a while.
Yeah, but I create on average probably like 10 clusters a day and destroy them locally, on average.
So somebody was asking me sometime this week, he was like, should I use microcates? I went, no. I went, really, kind is probably going to be good enough. Wouldn't you say that's true?
Yeah, kind is okay. Kind is, I haven't seen many problems with kind, really.
I mean, it's if you're trying to do something local, kind is more than sufficient.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't telling him wrong. That's because
let's put it this way, right? If you are locally running Kubernetes cluster for extensive period of time, then you don't need kind either. Just enable Kubernetes in Docker or whatever you're using, right? That's perfectly fine. To me, the advantage of kind is the ease of creating and destroying, right? Because I never run a cluster locally for a long time. But if you're one of those kind of like, oh, cluster is always running, you don't need kind, just enable it in Docker and that's it.
So K3S is Rancher Desktop, unfortunately. Ish, yes. Right? That's what rolled in there.
But I don't know whether I might be wrong, but I think that K3S is basically dead in the water now.
I haven't kept up with it. I don't know.
Yeah, not much love.
one thing that the guy told me, he was talking about microcases, like with Kubernetes, he says with etcd, it's basically fire hosing data all the time. Can you confirm or deny that?
I mean, I'm not sure what he meant and how that relates to running it locally. What I do know is that etcd is probably the weakest link right now in Kubernetes, right? It's all sorts of problems, especially when running at scale. We are ditching it in favor of other solutions simply because it's just it gets bloated very easily and then misbehaving under heavy load.
His concern, because it was fire hosing data all the time, was if you're running it locally, your wear on your SSDs are going to go a lot faster.
Ah, okay. That I don't know.
So I'll see if I can get the data on that, because that's sort of been, just sort of sitting back here in my head all week. I should look into that because, whatever it is.
I think that we've been spoiled for a while now. Many of us, it's kind of, we have such powerful machines that all those things do not matter. I mean, tend to matter less than in production, right? And it was the other way around in the past. Kind of, production, that's powerful, right? But no, my Mac Studio is kind of kicking ass. I don't know. Maybe etcd is misbehaving, but I'm not noticing it.
Right. But it's not so much a misbehaving, but what I can't do is easily replace the SSD in my Mac Studio.
You cannot easily replace.
Because you can't replace it.
Yeah.
It's on the system board. That's the concern. So anyway, that was his concern too, because he has a Mac Studio and he was planning on just setting up a long-lived Kubernetes cluster. I was like, I don't know. Anyway, let's move on from that because we have AI to conquer today. Prodzilla is a new monitoring tool. It actually looks pretty interesting. So much like a lot of the sites we've been looking at recently, great landing page, got nothing on it. Go to the GitHub repo. They also have a Discord. But what's interesting here is here's what a probe looks like. You set up a probe, give it a URL, tell it what to do, schedule it. Done. And then once you can add in expectations, and if the expectation goes sideways, you can send an alert. This feels right up your alley, Victor.
Yeah. What's the name?
It's Rust. Unfortunately, to get started, you have to clone the repo.
Yep.
And then run cargo run. That's where it's at today, right? Because it's new-ish. It's 001 last month.
Something I need to check.
Yeah, it's called Prodzilla. Chainsaw, you and I talked about this offline this week. If you've never played with it and you're needing to do end-to-end testing, might be worth taking a look at.
Yeah. I have high hopes for it, really. Because Cuttle, or Kutl, I don't know, how do you pronounce Kuttl?
Cuttle, to me, Kuttl. Yeah.
Cuttle. Anyway, Cuttle is the only one, was the only one that I know of that allows you to test Kubernetes manifests, right? But it's been basically not under active development for a year, if I'm not mistaken, right? And Chainsaw has potential to replace unmaintained project and be the only one of the kind, right? I just have one big beef with them. I've been discussing in an issue, which prevents me from adopting it. And that's that when things fail. So typically in both Cuttle and Chainsaw, right, you have a process that spins up your cluster, installs whatever needs to be installed, run tests to confirm whether that something is working as correctly, and then shut down everything, right? So kind of like you end up where you started, which is great. The problem I'm having is that when there is assert error, right? It shows me, okay, so this, I couldn't find this, or this is wrong, this single line in my YAML. And for me, that's useless, right? I need to see the diff. This is what you're having in a cluster. This is what you said that you would like to have. There is this line is different or something like that, but this is what's around it. So that I can find the issue. I can go there and find which one of the thousands of lines of YAML that refers to, right? So when that is fixed, and I know that they're working on it, then I will be most likely fully on board.
Chainsaw. 2 videos for you this week. It loaded weird. You did this week. Charm.
I love the names and the logos. They're just amazing.
This may be one of the things, because Victor and I are trying to come up with some ideas to do on Fridays on sort of like the back half of the show. One of the ones I think we're going to do one day is he's going to teach me how to do a basic Go app.
Okay.
And then he's going to walk me through or one of the other ones. Like we'll just build something out, whatever it may be. Because, I mean, I don't mind learning Go. It'll be fine, but it's not something that I need to use on a daily basis. So I don't have a need to learn it right now.
Learning Go is slightly more complicated than learning C.
Okay.
Meaning that after C, it might be probably the simplest language there is.
Right. But learning it is the key part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you and Whitney did your weekly this week on mTLS. Oh,
yeah,
all the fun ones.
It's I'm really enjoying those Tuesday sessions because first of all, other people are speaking. I don't need to exercise my brain. My main role over there is I have to do the demo of what people chose previous week. But apart from that, my main role is to have a gong ready when people reach 5 minutes, which is a maximum for them to explain anything.
That works out good. Are you doing it this coming Tuesday?
Yeah, we're doing it every Tuesday until the end of the season, which is probably like 4 or 5 weeks from now.
And I saw this week you were on an Intel podcast. You and Whitney both were on an Intel podcast that came out this week. Was it this week?
I might be wrong, but I think that one was recorded
a while back
in KubeCon itself.
Okay.
Yes.
But I'm not sure when it was released. So I saw information about it this week.
I saw it for the first time. I mean, I didn't listen to it, but I saw it for the first time that it was released yesterday. So.
Okay. So Tuesday, what are you doing Tuesday? What's next week's?
Next week's, I don't know.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I don't know. It's something related to security.
Good.
Because the whole season is related to security.
Security. Yeah.
That much I know.
A couple of quick, what?
Scanning.
Oh, scanning. Okay.
Yes.
All right. There's a couple of AI things here at the end. This is a very interesting write-up about how to fine-tune on a Mac using Metal. It's a 4-part series. They're not very long, but it talks about going through and doing it all yourself, which is pretty interesting. I haven't done it yet, but
nice.
Nice 4-part series. And then if you're into Java at all, using image generation with LangChain4j and Imagen.
So it's kind of generating from your code, right?
Yeah, from your code. So in this case, he's using Vertex. So
Vertex, yeah, nice.
Yeah. And go off and do all that. So a short, nice little get to the point type thing. So
very cool.
Why in the world? Okay, it's one thing to use Midjourney, DALL-E to generate images, but why would I want to write code to generate images?
I had the same thought. That's beyond me. When you said it, when you presented it, I said, "Oh, that's cool," and then my brain started thinking about, okay,
but why?
What can I use it? What's the scenario in which I want to generate an image on the fly?
So here's one thing I thought.
For example, I could be generating. So I have an agency that does thumbnails for the channel.
Whatever. Yep.
That could be, for example, the case. Yes.
Yeah. Because you don't have a command line image generator today.
No, right now, no. I have a command line option to send email to the agency that generates thumbnails. Yes.
Right. but you are using AI to generate titles. They're not the final titles, but that generate title options and those kinds of things. So now you could actually generate even a image option. Who knows?
Yes, I could, but
you won't. That's fine.
I won't. One thing I've realized, so I spent some time, not tremendous, but a couple of hours, half a day maybe, with Midjourney. And I realized something very, very, very important. I'm incapable of writing prompts that produce good results. I don't know how to do it. Because, you look at all those pictures that others generated and say, this is amazing. I can do this. I even thought to ditch the agency for the thumbnails and doing them myself, because when I see what other people did, it's kind of, this is so bloody amazing. I love it. I can do it. And then half a day later, the world came crashing down. And no, Victor, you cannot do it. It requires a skill, a real skill. And then I watched even some video about some guy that creates some photo-like pictures. And when I saw his flow, kind of like, it's like 5 days of work and he's experienced in it.
Right.
I mean, it would take probably months to make a photo like that, right? He would need to travel to Uganda or something. And so I'm not saying that it's not, that is too long, but not happening for me. No.
It's, to get some basics, maybe, but it still feels like opening Photoshop to me. It's like, do that. Oh, I have to do these 15 different close.
And here's the thing that annoys the hell out of me for at least in Midjourney. You cannot put text. You cannot put text.
Right.
Because I say, and write DevOps, and it always ends up some different, something else. And I put quotes and all that stuff. No. I even tell you, no. When I said write this, I meant write exactly that.
Yeah.
No,
impossible. It doesn't know. Dan's question, what is the DevOps programming language of choice? Whatever one you know.
Go.
Java.
I'm biased. I work with Go. But I would say that whichever you know should be fine. And if you say, I don't care whether it's one I know or no, I would probably go with Python or Go.
I'm actually going to I'm going to create or correct both of us. We're both right and we're both wrong. Whatever the team that you're in is using is the right language. If that language happens to be Bash, then in that case it's Bash. Period.
Yep.
End of story.
With Charm Gum.
With Charm Gum. But that requires... Oh, wait, no, Gum isn't... Gum's the standalone,
Gum is
right?
CLI.
Yeah, okay.
Gum is based on bubble tea, just as
Right.
is based on bubble tea, but that one is CLI, so you can just put it in your shell scripts. Actually, I've been using it in my stuff, and kind of it's brilliant.
Okay. Let's do the... You want to try to do the demo? Okay, so here's the demo we're going to do today, because I watched a video, and that's what happens when I'm around and watch videos. I watched a video on Llama Coder. I had to look it up again because I haven't even installed it yet. I just made sure I could find it, right? So the first thing I'm going to do, I know this is small, but it doesn't really matter. So I haven't even started up Ollama yet. So I'm going to say Ollama serve. Okay, that can go to the background. I don't care. I've got a little Jenkins plugin project here. And let me show you why I picked this one. You can see the big strike through here, I assume. Do you want me to zoom in a little bit more?
A bit more would help.
There.
Cool.
How about that? Is that good? Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. So you can see this constructor is struck through, right? Because it's deprecated. What I want to do is I want to get Llama Coder installed and see what it tells me to do with this.
Llama Coder is a plugin for VS Code?
It's a plugin. It's an extension for VS Code, yes.
Cool.
That uses... Why am I not seeing extensions? So I'm going to look for... Here, let me just close this up so we can actually see. So I'm going to look for Llama Coder. And I'll click on it so we can see it here. So it's a... I like how they're not biased at all. Llama Coder is a better and self-hosted GitHub Copilot replacement for VSC. Llama Coder uses Llama and CodeLlama to provide autocomplete. Works best on M1, 2, or 3. Mine's an M1. RTX. So as good as Copilot. Okay, whatever. Works well. No telemetry or tracking. This goes back to Dan's thing. They don't let you use AI, but if you can run it locally and it's not leaving your machine, are you really using AI? Or is it just another program on your machine? I don't know. Okay, minimum 16 of gig of RAM. So what I'm on right now is I have a Mac M1 Studio, 32 gig of RAM, 512 gig hard drive. Base model. Like, go to the Apple refurb site, buy whatever the base model is, you'll be happy. Okay, so let's install this. And it's available. Now, there is a configuration for it. Now, how in the heck I'm going to find it, I don't know.
Just assume that it works
there.
well by default. No?
Yeah, so I want to see, okay, I was trying to figure out how do I get there. Okay, extension settings. That's what I was trying to find. So the Ollama server endpoint, empty for local instance. So I am running Ollama locally, right? Because I just started it up. It gives you a handful of models to choose from. Stable code is the one it's picking right now. There's DeepSeek, CodeLlama, whatever. I'm just going to stick with the defaults for now. Temperature is how creative do you want the answer to be? Want it to be not so creative. No customs, no anything. Just being all the defaults are here. Okay. Now the question is, let's go back over to the shell. Did it do anything? I don't see that it did anything, which is fine. Let's go back to here, and was this the one? Nope. Is that the one? There, that's the one I was looking for. All right, so how do I do this? Okay, so first things first. Not downloaded. Do you want to download it? Yes. So we see it's downloading here. Okay. Let's see how long it takes. I'm guessing because these models are typically fairly small.
Yeah, probably a couple of gigs.
While we're waiting on that, let's look at Luther's question. My company thinks moving away from REST integration and services to event-driven architecture with API gateways and Lambdas is the future, or at least the default approach for a new project. If you have unlimited money, then that's a great way to do things.
I don't think that Lambdas are great for specific use cases. I think it would be a terrible mistake thinking that whole system will be based on Lambdas.
My take on this, other than my snarky answer, is if it's something that's not going to be running all the time, think batch.
Exactly.
It's not a bad idea, because then you're not having to maintain anything. However,
That's a great idea.
Yeah, but if you're running 24/7, 365, 366 this year, the amount that you're going to be paying is going to be shocking compared to
also,
something.
The advantages so when you want to execute some job, the whole Lambda idea sounds great because, hey, I want to run this, spin it up, do the thing, and they go away, right? But if you're talking about thousands of concurrent requests per second, it doesn't make sense. I don't see how it makes sense. Kind of like one. So this might be maybe even partly with JavaScript as well, right? Kind of like in computing, to me, one process per request doesn't make sense.
Hopefully that helped, Luther. That's just our opinions.
Yeah. This is not against Lambda, just to clarify.
No.
Any other solution, kind of like if you're going to spin up 1,000 processes for 1,000 requests, I'm not sure that that's the optimal way to do it.
Yeah. Unless it's only going to happen less than an hour a day or something.
Yeah, I mean, if it's sporadic, yes. But if you're talking about high volume traffic,
persistent all the time, I'm not. Okay, I did not click around. So the model is downloaded. Okay, so it's spinning down there. Let's see, why is it spinning? Oh, it's trying to think. Okay, so let's see if
Now it's finished.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out, okay, so I could do a quick fix, but that doesn't help me any.
That quick fix looks like something that VS Code does.
Exactly. So
yeah.
I wonder if I can highlight this, because I haven't looked in to see how I can.
What happens if you click on Llama Coder?
Well, that just opened up the
Okay.
the thing again, settings again. So let's see. Rewrite the next line. Next line to eliminate the deprecation. I don't like that. Nope, that doesn't do that. Let's try this. Let's do this dot default schedule time equals new. Well, this is less than interesting. Okay, so like I said, I'm doing this live. I haven't tried it out, right? I'm just trying.
Yeah,
I'm trying to do
nice.
what I would logically try to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't inject
I mean,
here.
The goal of those tools should be that they're just there and work in the background without you almost even noticing them, right?
Yeah.
The moment I need to do what you're doing right now sounds wrong.
Right. So I'm trying to see. I'm looking for anything. Because I saw somebody demo it. And I was like in this case, if I say if build time, it's almost like it's not active. It's when I saw the example.
Yeah. And I would expect that apart from suggesting, you should be able to. So what I would expect it to do is similar, especially since it compares itself to Copilot.
Yeah.
That you should be able to highlight and say, "Help me."
Okay, so let's see if I can do that. So highlight it.
Yeah. So Copilot now, no, right mouse button. And in Copilot there is, I don't remember, something like explain or something like that, right?
Okay. There's peak, but that's not what I'm wanting.
No, I think it's not enabled, which actually sounds strange because it says it is.
Well, it's okay. So let's go back over to the. Okay, so it's seeing things here. Huh. I wonder if it's. Go ahead.
You know, I have slightly negative relation with things like plugins for this and that, and I'm not saying that this is necessarily the case right now, right? But there are too many plugins that were just developed overnight and put into the wild without really dedicating to it, right?
Right.
I don't know whether that's the case, but certainly with many plugins that I tried in VS Code.
Let's see if I did this right or not. So install. Well, we know it's working, right? Because we see Olamas going back and forth. So if we go back to this. Huh.
You have so much more patience than I do. I would already give up.
Well, I was just trying to see, is there anything here that is obvious that I'm just messing up on, that's just not right? So I'm trying to see.
Click on those three dots in the left bar. Is there a new addition in the... It's too small for me to see, but none of those
No.
is Olama, right? Okay.
No.
Something wrong, or it's not baked well.
Well, I could just restart the... I shouldn't have to
Yeah,
restart
do
the
that.
browser, though, right? Or the browser.
No, not the
VS
browser.
Code.
Restart VS Code, yes. Shut
Just
it down.
because?
Shut it down. Save
Mm.
it.
Well, there's nothing to save, I don't think. Here, let's... Yeah, don't save that. Okay, no. We'll do that. And then I need to go back over here to... actually, I can just do code again. Thank you. Let's see.
Okay. Open it.
All right, that loaded. Now let's see if... So if I type build time here, dot. Okay, that's nothing new.
I mean, if you cannot highlight, that makes it... If you cannot highlight and say do something with this, that makes it useless.
Well, nuts. Wonder if there's anything in the no. I wonder if there's no. No. That's so weird. Just triple check, make sure I don't miss something here.
Because I'm looking right now at Compilot. Basically, when you highlight something and right-click, it has start inline chat, explain this, fix this. Generate docs, generate tests, right?
Well, let's look at this here again. Okay, make sure I did that. That's fine. Nothing there.
Unless you changed, you just installed it, it must work somehow with default.
Yeah,
It's
I mean-
Workspace.
So write a
Poem.
setter.
No, it's not working.
I'm obviously just not knowing how to use this. That's frustrating. Not against Llama Coder, it's just like, okay, it seems like, I mean, like what you were saying, I should be able to right click, or I should be able to get something else extra in the hover or something.
Exactly. Exactly. Well,
Like what I would expect is for set hours, it's like, hey, don't you know this is deprecated? Here's how you can fix it.
exactly.
Would you like for me to generate a fix for you? I'll put it below and comment out that line. Now let me try something different. Let me change to, I'm not going to do the big one. Let me try DeepSeek. Because just for grins, I wonder if that model, stable code, oh, that's the question we didn't ask. We're using stable code right now. So stable code languages. Because maybe that one doesn't know
Java.
Java. Let's see. It says it knows Java.
Well, all in all, you didn't convince me to uninstall Copilot.
No. Well, again, I told you I haven't looked at this yet. So
That's what makes it cool, I think.
yeah, let's just for grant, the guy was showing DeepSeek, so let me just do the smallest deep. Well, 1.3 is small enough. We'll do the 4.1. Now the question is, what happens when I change the model there? How do I
Type
tell it?
something.
Oh, right, because that's how it got triggered last time, right? Let's see. No. Well, that's just sad. It's just sad. I would have expected... It's like, hey, I see you changed the model. Because there's no save. What else could it be? What else could it be? Anybody else? Ingen, I wish I could agree with you, but I don't have time for Twitch.
Yeah, unless if you for only live coding stuff. Yeah. I don't know. So I never spend enough time in Twitch, so I don't know what's the appeal of Twitch over YouTube.
I think I don't know, the chats or something.
Okay.
What else could we do here? Hey, okay, I tabbed, and now it popped up. That's weird. Okay, yes, let's just.
Not that's early stage project.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, it's.
Mm.
I mean, if it does work, then this goes back to hopefully solving Dan's problem. It's like, well, we can't use any AI. Does that mean you can't use AI, or you can't run AI locally on your machine?
Yeah.
That's the question. Build time dot. Give me a set. Oh, that's. It gave me something there.
Highlight now something. And right mouse. If there is nothing. No.
No. But it gave me something there, which was interesting. Okay, now it's just making stuff up. Let's see. All right, so what happens if I do this?
No, that's the doc of the library.
Right. I'm just trying to see. Rats. Do one more thing here. No, that's the same thing. Oh well, it was worth a shot.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be fine when it's all said and done. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean.
Once I can figure out how to use it.
Exactly. Next Friday.
I was trying. No, we're not here. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. Okay. We are not here next Friday because you're going to be asleep.
I will be asleep. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true.
Just a.
Depends. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that I continue operating in the same time zone that I left.
Right. So anyway, what I tried to do, VS Code, Llama Coder, I went with the default, which was stable code. We switched it to a different model. It actually did something with a different model, but maybe it would have done the same thing if I'd have typed something then. I don't know. It's sort of a bummer, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. We are in a brave new world now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I have a Mac Studio instead of a Mac Air from 12 years ago. Just think about how fast this stuff is going to get, and how much more compressed, and it's all maths. That's just
Give it a couple of years, and it will be very, very different.
Well, as we sort of talked about in this week's episode, do we still have a job?
I will retire not long from now, so it's fine.
I won't be. I still have a few more years. Quite a few more years.
Look, so those things were happening for centuries now, right? People were saying the same thing when Industrial Revolution happened, right? Will we have jobs with factories now, right? And we do, and we have more jobs now than in any previous time in history. If you look at the longer periods, not kind of like 5 years ago. So yes, of course we will have jobs, but if we adapt to it, right? That's the thing. Actually, the message. Okay, so the video that is coming up this Monday. The TLDR of that video is AI is not going to take away your job. People using AI will. That's the TLDR.
Unless you're using AI like I am and not being successful with it. And then you're still fine. All right. Okay. So Monday, you have a video coming out. Tuesday, you'll be on with Whitney again over on DevOps Toolkit. Wednesday's the podcast. Nothing on Thursday and nothing on Friday because you'll be asleep.
Yes.
And if
That
you're not
reminds me
asleep,
that
hopefully you're on the
I need
beach.
to warn Whitney that I might be asleep on Tuesdays.
That would be a wise thing to do.
We'll find out.
So everybody's homework for the week, actually 2 weeks, is if you get Llama Coder running, go over to the Slack workspace and put messages in the hub channel. Put it there. It's like, okay, what Darren was doing was dumb. Here's what he missed. Here's what you need to do instead. Because I know it works. I just have to figure out why it's not. But the guy was showing a very simplified, hey, this is how it works. Nice and clean, little Python script. And here I am in a Jenkins plugin that's 8 years old. So who knows? All right.
You see how AI cannot take away your job?
Yeah. Yet. I don't think I'll ever take it away. But it's getting more interesting by the day. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, we'll be able to do things
Yeah.
that we couldn't
Home
do before.
home assignments. That's what we need. We need to home assignments. See, I assign it to everybody else, and I just don't assign it to myself because I made myself look like a fool here. But I'm okay looking like a fool. Key part, Olama, VS Code, Llama Coder extension. And who knows, it might be colliding with other extensions I've got installed. That's the other thing I don't
That's
like about VS Code.
Very
Man, it's,
possible. Whenever I try something like Whisper, I tried a while ago, and then, oh shoot, let me disable everything else because, I mean, to be honest, actually, to me,
keep
right
talking.
now I'm running only Copilot in my VS Code plus whatever VS Code itself is doing, and already those two are colliding too much for my taste. I would even like to disable VS Code itself, right? Doing auto-completions and things like that. But then Copilot is not doing that, so it's getting confusing.
Okay, I got a question. Is there a way to set up VS Code to, how do I ask this question? Is there a way to set VS Code to where when I bring it up in a specific repository, only certain extensions will be live?
I haven't tried it, but I wouldn't be surprised.
That would be
if
Workspace,
there is,
right?
Because everything is configurable, right? And
Right.
you have global workspace, and you can also set up project-specific things, the directory-specific, so you should be able to do that.
Okay. I'll play around with that because I might be running into the Java helper, which is useful, but it may be splatting everything else. By the way, let me go ahead and show this one more time. Whoops. Dang it. Hang on. Where is it? There it is. When I do not work for Microsoft, I do not work for GitHub.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to put it as nicely as I can right now. Where is it? Why did that not? There we go. Oh, the hover. Notice that GitHub here is upper G and lower H. That's not how you spell GitHub. That is variation on
Okay,
a
but that's
theme. That is not how you spell GitLab either.
That's on Llama Coder.
That's on Llama Coder. Yes. Yeah. It's
By the way,
Git and
Darin,
upper H and Git and upper L. That's please. In day life or in my day job, those are competitors, right? I'm air quoting, but it's not. They're competitors. But please use the names correctly, please. It's easy, small thing. Actually, it's open source. I'll probably put a pull request in for that, just because it's like, please. It's small. Oh, Ahmed, thank you. In the issues, they say it works, but slow on tab completion. I want to go back there real quick. Sorry, and we're over time, but I want to see, because I didn't think to take a look at the
I will have to leave
issues.
at the top of the hour, but I'll leave you that.
Okay, 30 seconds. We'll just say thanks, everybody, for being here. Victor, have a great time in Hawaii. I can't imagine. That should be a lot of fun. And we will see everybody back here, if everything goes well, in 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
Victor, you can go off to another meeting, just like I'm going to do. Bye, everybody.
Cheers, everyone.